Hey guys, John here from Sonic Drive Studio, back with another amplifier demo and review. Today we're checking out this awesome amplifier by Marshall, the DSL100 or DSL100HR. I've wanted one of these amplifiers for quite a while, and some of you guys also requested the amplifier for the channel. I also have one of the older JCM 2000 DSL50s over there, which is a great amplifier in its own right. And I also have the DSL20HR somewhere up here, which is also a great amplifier. And that little 20 watt amplifier is a quite popular amplifier because of its price and awesome tones. And I recently did a full demo and review of that amplifier as well. Do check it out up here and down here as well. And this is, of course, the 100 watt version of the newest DSL line by Marshall. Now these amps are quite versatile and also affordable, which makes them very attractive indeed. And that's one of the reasons why I think these are so popular. So let's see what this amplifier has to offer and also check out some tones. Now this is basically a 2-channel amplifier and each channel has 2 modes. We have the classic gain channel with the clean and crunch modes, as well as the ultra gain channel with the OD1 and OD2 modes. Those are basically more high gain modes. So this amp can go from clean to crunch all the way up to super high gain basically. The amp has one EQ section only, so it's shared across all the channels. We do have a presence and resonance control, which is a nice feature that not a lot of Marshall amplifiers have. The tone shift button in the EQ section never gets used by me, but it's basically a sort of big mid scoop. This amp does have reverb individually for each channel, but I must say that it's quite subtle, just as with the DSL20HR. Even if you crank it up all the way, it's still quite subtle, so it's not really a drastic reverb, but it's still a nice touch. The amp also has 2 selectable master volume controls, which can come in handy for solos and stuff like that. The amp also has 2 power modes, high and low. Setting it to low basically makes the amp a little bit less loud, so that's great for practice, recording, playing at home, etc. On the back we have the speaker outputs, the effects loop, an emulated out and an aux in, a foot switch jack and also a MIDI jack. And that means that you can connect this amplifier to the Marshall MIDI foot switch that also works with the JVM. And that's a great way to have more control over all the functions that this amplifier has to offer. So how does this amplifier sound? Let's find out. And we're going to do some clips with various guitars, and the signal chain for this video will be as follows. The amp is being fed into my Red 7 Amplification amp central reactive load, and then into York Audio impulse responses. So the signal chain is quite simple and pure, and no post-processing will be applied on the guitars as usual. First, let's check out some clean tones with my Gibson Les Paul Classic on the neck pickup. I'm on the classic gain channel on the clean mode of course, and I do have some reverb dialed in as well. And for this tone I'm using the York Audio MRSH412 Blackjack cabinet on the Mix 01 file as per usual. Let's go ahead and check it out right now. That was pretty cool. Quite a bright sounding clean channel, I think. Now let's check out those same tones, but this time in an isolated setting. Here we go. Nice! So the clean channel does have some room on the gain pot to get a nice subtle overdrive as well, which makes the clean channel more versatile because you can get some nice pushed cleans out of this as well. And now let's check out some actual sort of classic crunch tones, this time on the crunch mode, of course, on the classic gain channel. And for these tones, I'll be using my ESP LTD Phoenix 1000 Deluxe with the Fishman pickups in it. And I will set the Fishman bridge pickup to the passive mode for a more classic passive sound. And for these tones, I'm going to use the York Audio MRSH 412 M25 cabinet on Mic Mix 01 for those classic Marshall tones. Let's go ahead and check it out. Here we go. Nice. Now also isolated. That was a very nice crunch tone indeed. I really like that this amplifier has that mode because the DSL20HR does not. So it makes this amplifier a lot more versatile than the 20-watt version in my opinion. It sounds pretty clear and bright, but still with a nice and fat saturation. And that's that typical DSL sound if you ask me. Now let's check out some higher gain rock tones with my ESP LTD Phoenix Arctic Metal with the EMG81TW. This time we'll use the ultra gain channel for more gain. And we're going to start off with the OD1 mode. And for these tones, I'll use the York Audio MES412 OS cabinet on Mic Mix 01 as well, just for a slightly more modern tone basically. And that's what I like about this amp basically. It can do the vintage and clean stuff, but it can also do the modern high gain stuff. It makes it that much more versatile. All right, let's check out that rock tone. Here we go. Very cool. Clear, but also fat. I like it. Now also isolated. Now let's go even heavier with some drop C metal riffs on my ESP LTD NW44 guitar with the bare knuckle aftermath pickup in it. I'll use the ultra gain channel again, but this time on OD2 mode for more gain and even more saturation. This mode does have a slightly different sound and response than the OD1 mode. The low end is quite fat and sort of spongy. And I think that this is the same mode that the DSL100 HR has on the ultra gain channel. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that that's the case. And for these tones, I'm going to use the awesome York 212 DV77 cab, also on Mic Mix 01 for that big roar. Let's check it out right now. Yes, that was pretty awesome. Now also isolated. Yes, those high gain tones are pretty cool and definitely unique sounding. It does have that sort of typical Marshall sound with that sort of forward mid-range, so pretty clear and bright. It will really cut through the mix without any problems, but also slightly fat and sort of loose on the low end, and that does make it sound a little bit bigger. And I do imagine that this amplifier takes boost pedals very well, so we're going to check that out soon on the channel as well in a to boost or not to boost episode, so stay tuned for that. Now let's check out some even heavier baritone 7-string riffs with my ESP LTD SC607B1H, also with a Fishman pickup, but this time the signature Stephen Carpenter pickup on the active voicing. The same channel, very similar settings, and the same cab IR as well. Here we go. Awesome, now also isolated. great, that sounded very good as well. So overall, I really like this amplifier. It sounds good, it's quite versatile, and it's also quite affordable. The clean tones are cool, but they are a little bit bright and on the pokey side sometimes. So you gotta find the right guitar and the right pickup settings and the right amp settings to make that sound the best it can be, basically. But once you get it right, it's a nice clean tone. But the crunch and high gain tones on this amplifier are quite nice. I really like the sound that I'm getting out of this amplifier. Fat and saturated, but also quite clear, so it will cut through the mix very, very nicely. Some might call that fizzy, but I don't think that it's fizzy at all. It just pushes the right frequencies through the mix. So if you're looking for a very powerful, versatile and affordable Marshall that will work well for rock and metal and basically everything, then the Marshall DSL100 might be for you. And thanks to the folks at Marshall for sending this amplifier out to me to use on the channel. I really appreciate it. That's all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe and the like buttons down below if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that because it really helps the channel out. You can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for more exclusive content. I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Thanks again. Cheers.